Welcome to this edition of the Coal Scene. I'm Chris Hamilton with the West Virginia Coal Association, and I'll be your host for this segment of our program. We are here at Mountaineer Field, as you can see, and this is the venue of the last and final marquee matchup between West Virginia University and Marshall University in what has been known as the Coal Bowl. Our industry, the coal industry, has been a sponsor of the Coal Bowl throughout the past 7 years now. And as I indicated, this is the last and final game of the series. In just a couple weeks, these two teams will face off against one another and compete for that the coal trophy known as the Friends of Coal Bowl trophy. In a few moments, we're going to talk with Coach Holgerson here. We're going to talk with Coach Holliday afterwards, and we're going to have both talk a little football and what this game has meant to the teams, what it's meant to the coaches, and also the state. And I think everybody concurs that the state of West Virginia has been the winner of this series. It's been good for the state. It's been good for the coal industry. After all, we typically find that no matter where we go, we run into alumni of both universities, and also a lot of people that work within the mining industry throughout the state. In fact, it's been said that if you put everybody together in one place that works every day at a coal mine, it would fill up Mountaineer Field on a sunny fall afternoon. There are about 50,000 plus men and women who work within our industry and show up every day and 24/7 produce coal to generate household industrial power, not only around our great state, but around our region, throughout the country, and for that matter, throughout the world. We have the best miners in the world right here in West Virginia who produce, again, household and industrial energy for the world, because we do have some of the best coal found and the highest quality of coals found anywhere in the world right here in our great state. Sort of left with mixed feelings here as the series comes to a close. Again, it's been great for the state, and we've been really proud to have been a part of this series and to have been the primary sponsor. Join me as we go inside and meet up with Coach Holgerson and collect his thoughts on the Big 12 Conference, the upcoming season, a little bit about his expectations, and also what the Coal Bowl, playing in the Coal Bowl, means to him personally. This is his second or third Coal Bowl, and so he's had the experience. He's been able to interact with these players, get their thoughts and reflections. And so we're going to sit down and talk to Coach about all that. Also going to talk to him about his new man trip idea to bring attention to the coal mining industry that was christened here within the stadium last year. We're then going to go over and meet up with Coach Holliday and find out a little bit about his thoughts and some of his expectations for the 2012 football season. Doc formerly played here and spent a number of years at Mountaineer Country, and before he moved on and took the head coaching job at Marshall University. A lot of hype and excitement circling the Marshall program. We're certainly in for a big matchup and an exciting game. A lot of fireworks expected here when the two teams meet on September 1. We're here at the Pushkar Stadium, the football office, talking with Coach Holgerson about the upcoming season and the 2012 Coal Bowl. Coach, thanks so much for taking time. I know it's
Chris. Good to see you again.
Busiest part of your schedule, no doubt, but we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about the upcoming season and the annual marquee matchup between West Virginia University and Marshall University, known as the Coal Bowl. So that's probably a pretty good place to start. Maybe just some of your reflections and thoughts about the Coal Bowl, what it means to the program, the players, and you personally.
Right. We had so much fun with it last year. We brought in all the lightning and the rain to make it last 8 or 9 hours last year. So we were having so much fun with it. We wanted it to last forever. We practiced it in camp the other day. We had some lightning strikes during one of our practices. We took them inside for 2 hours and then we brought them back out. But now we're excited about it. We're excited about the season. We're excited about it getting started. It's a great way to have it start the season, with the Coal Bowl, and last year it was a good time. I mean, it was my first game at West Virginia, and the stadium was packed, and it was a great atmosphere, and both sides of the field were fired up about playing in the game. So I anticipate the same thing to happen this year. I think the atmosphere is going to be fantastic, and I think both teams are going to be fired up and ready to play.
It's a new season. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of hype in the surrounding the program. Change of conference, coming off the huge bowl performance. What's your thoughts this season? What's moving to the Big 12 mean?
Well, prior to coming to West Virginia, I was in the Big 12 for 9 years, so I understand what the Big 12 is all about. I've been at all of the other 9 schools, venues. It's exciting to be, at a place like West Virginia and going to a place where football means the same thing where we're going as it does here in the state of West Virginia. From a football standpoint, the stadiums are going to be packed just like ours are. The towns are college towns, much like Morgantown is. And then you look at what the state of West Virginia has from a population standpoint to an energy standpoint. It's much like where we're going into the Midwest, into Texas and Oklahoma. So it's cool to share the same values, and it's just going to be fun. And I think the more that we go see those venues, the more people are going to understand what I've been saying for the last year. Ultimately, it's going to take some. It's going to take some real live games for everybody to understand what we're getting ourselves into.
Big change, almost a new chapter in West Virginia football.
It's completely different. And one of the things that I'm excited about, coaches, players, administrators, is the exposure it's going to bring to the state of West Virginia. It's going to, our home stadium, the Mountaineers are going to be in a whole lot of households from the West Coast to the East Coast, and kind of different from where we were as far as it being a real regional situation. So I'm excited about that.
Well, you say it's good for West Virginia, and I hear that comment about going back to the Coal Bowl for a moment. Right. Regardless of who plays well or who wins or loses or what the score is, West Virginia wins. Yeah. When you have a game like that with both the state's major universities involved.
I would assume it'd be the number one thing on everybody's mind on the first game. I think it's going to be seen by 1.8 million people in the state.
Oh, it's big. There's no question about it. As I look around your office here, I can't help but to reflect on a lot of the tradition, a lot of the history of West Virginia football. The mining industry has that same type of tradition and history, and there's a lot of similarities between the two. I know one of the things you did last year, speaking of tradition, was you wanted to recognize the industry, and there came the man trip and the piece of coal in the stadium.
Yeah, that's been a big hit for us as coaches, for our team, for the fans, I think for the whole state. I think it's been a big hit. I've been a part of a walk before walking into the stadium, which obviously walking into the stadium, you're going to work, and being around a bunch of people that are involved in the coal industry, they had heard me describing it, and it was several guys here in the state of West Virginia that said it sounds just like the man trip, where the coal miners are going into the mines to go to work. And so I thought it was perfect, and the more we kicked it around, the more it made sense to everybody, to the point to where we're walking in and there's a lot of excitement, and we're excited about going to work, and we're going into the stadium and we're paying tribute to the coal miners by touching the piece of coal as we go to work.
I obviously, in my capacity, get around the state a lot, and just about everywhere I go, you see alumni of West Virginia University, and you also see working men and women who have a background, work within the mining industry. So, there's just a lot of commonality. I know your stadium's packed with mining families, on a typical Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and again, there's one of the most important things that that exists within the state that people have been telling me is what happens on Saturdays when the Mountaineers play, and obviously we'd like to put the best product that we can out on Saturday to get everybody fired up about their home state, and we're obviously going to do our best to keep preparing to try to make the Mountaineer football just a little bit better each week here this year.
I'm not sure the accuracy of it, but I recall it being said a couple years ago that they actually broadcast one of your games down within the mine.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Again,
I'd like to think it's not a rumor. I think it'd be pretty cool if it was reality.
There might be some issues with that, so probably I'll just keep it as a rumor for right now. The other thing is that those that work within the mine industry, like your players, are dedicated, and they truly show up. And this was one of the nice things I heard about what you did in recognizing them, because they show up every day and they put their helmets on and their uniforms, and when you think about what they do, they produce a product that basically fuels the whole eastern part of the country, and the world for that matter, with coal that's mined right here. They're at it 24/7, to provide us with a reliable source of energy.
Yeah, tons of respect for that, and I try to relate everything that we do with what our guys are doing on the football field, and got a ton of respect for our guys as far as the amount of time and effort and energy that they put into the product that we're trying to put out there. So there's a lot of similarities in what happens, and like I said, I mean, we try to put the best product we can out there to try to make it better for everybody.
This year's Coal Bowl is the last game in the current series. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's up in the air, with the two schools. Your thoughts on whether the two schools may meet again in the future, or maybe there'll be a new series between the schools at some point?
Yeah, it's much like we dealt with the backyard brawl with us and Pitt, and there's been so many different rivalries that did exist at West Virginia with Penn State, Virginia Tech, Pitt, even the Big East schools in Louisville and Cincinnati. I mean, there's so many different games that we would like to play. I mean, obviously scheduling's tough when you play in a conference with 12 teams. You only get 3 non-conference games, so. And these things have been done years in advance. So we've had to cancel a couple of games, and we've had to keep some of the games on the schedule. So I put that in all the administrators' hands. Whatever schedule they put out there for us is the one I'm going to have to deal with. My opinion really doesn't matter anyway.
I understand. Well, Coach, we're about out of time, and want to thank you so much for taking time for us.
Thank you very much.
Good luck this year, and good luck during the Coal Bowl.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank Chris real quick, and Chris and I go way back, and I sat up here a year ago and told you that I got great respect for the Coal Association. My dad and grandfather grew up at Coal Camp Sonoma. I worked in the mines and sharples through my early college days and in high school, and have great respect. Our coaches retreat was done at academies down in Mingo counties where I took my coaches for 3 days to hide out. So got great respect for what you do. I'm not going to get into this series. It should be played. I mean, anybody thinks that there's not interest in the game, got their head stuck in the sand.
Welcome back to this edition of the Coal Scene. Joining me in the studio is Marshall University's head football coach, Doc Holliday. Doc, thanks so much for taking time. I know it's extraordinarily busy for you this time of year, but thanks so much for taking time to join us to talk a little football, talk about the Coal Bowl, and a little bit about the season that's just ahead of us.
No, Chris, I just really appreciate you having us. You know, I've got great respect for the coal industry. My family grew up, worked in the mines back when I was in high school, and in the early years of college, my dad, my whole family's from Omar there, so have great respect for what you all do. And the Friends of Coal is a great organization, and I'm just proud to be a part of that game. And it is a great game. There's a lot of interest in that game. For the last 3 years I've been a part of it, it's been sold out. Tickets are hard to get. It's national televised. And as the head football coach at Marshall, I'm just excited to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to next Saturday.
Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate all those kind words about the industry. You know, there's a lot of people from within the Coal family that are just huge supporters of Marshall. They show up every week. They're fans of yours, and a lot of commonality between the program, success of the program, and success of the coal industry and the miners.
Yeah, you know, there's no question. And you know, we have our coaches' hideaway every year, and we go down to now Alpha's cabins down in Mingo County or Pike County, right there on the border there, and we spend 3 days there. And you know, it's just a great place. And you know, and that whole, you know, Logan, Mingo, Boone, that whole area, you know, it's a fun area to be in. We enjoy going down.
Yeah, again, a lot of support. You mentioned this will be your third Friends of Coal Bowl game, and you've been knocking on the door. In fact, you were in the living room in 2010. But it's a great game. I think it brings out the best in both teams. We're really excited about it. I think it's good for the state, obviously. In fact, we'd like to see the series continue down the road.
Well, it is a great series, and you know what? There's not a state in the country that has two great, well-respected Division I programs don't play each other. I mean, Florida plays Florida State, Louisville plays Kentucky, Iowa plays Iowa State. They're in different conferences, and you know, I think it's just great that when you have two universities like Marshall University and Western University in the same state, you know, the fans have the opportunity. It's always sold out. It's always packed. It's played in front of national TV audiences, and why not keep the money in the state? But you know what? I've got my own issues. My job as a head coach is to make sure our football team is prepared. I'll leave the decisions up to Mike Hamrick, Dr. Kopp, who do a great job making those decisions.
Play whoever shows up on the other side of the field on Saturday afternoon.
We don't worry about that. We just go play, and you know, we got a great schedule. You know, and we've always. You know, the one thing that we've done the years I've been there, and even previous, you know, we're going to play an exciting schedule every year. Our conference is a great conference. You know, our conference a year ago had 5 teams that went to bowls and won 4 of those games. So, you know, we've got a conference that can play with anybody in the country. You know, our Houston team we had in there a year ago beat Penn State. You know, we've got teams that are very competitive, and it's a great league.
You played at West Virginia. You coached up there for several years. A lot of mixed emotions when you walk inside Mountaineer Stadium, I'm sure.
Well, there's no mixed emotions now. I mean, I walk in there, and I mean, I spent time there, but now as the head football coach at Marshall, I've got one goal in mind, that's to go win that football game. And you know, I walk in there, and just like our team will walk in there, we're going in there expecting to win, and that'll never change. And West Virginia has a great football team. You know, they're picked to win the Big 12, either them or Oklahoma. They got a quarterback that's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. He's also picked to be Player of the Year in that conference. If he didn't get it, it'd probably be Tavon Austin. So, you know, we have great respect for that West Virginia team. They got probably the most talented team in the Big 12. They should be competing for a championship, but our players are excited to go play them there next week.
It's hard to believe that this is the 7th and final game already, and we've been the sponsor for all of those, and you know, we think it's a great fit. When you look around the state and even around the country, you run into Marshall and WVU alumni everywhere, and particularly within the state, you also run into, you know, this core of 50,000 plus people that show up at a mine every day to, you know, provide the state and the world actually with reliable household and industrial energy. So we just think it's a great fit. It's been very successful. we just been honored to have been a part of it.
Well, I'm glad, as the head coach, I'm glad I've been able to be a part of it for 3 years, and hopefully in the future, you know, we can get this thing together because it needs to be played. I mean, there's no excuses. I mean, to say there's not interest in that game, I mean, they got their head stuck in the sand, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a great game between two great universities. It keeps the money in the state. I know the Coal Association wants to see it, and 90% of the West Virginians want to see it. So, you know, again, I'm going to leave it up to you and Mike Hamrick and Dr. Kopp and the powers to be, and you all get it worked out, and I'll be happy to go play in it.
Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate all your support since you've been at Marshall, running the program down there. We look forward to working with you in years to come in whatever capacity we could best serve. How about the season overall? You're playing with a lot of young players still, but you've got a lot of guys that you know, played well for you the last year, last couple of years.
Yeah, there's no question, Chris. You know, we got a young football team, but you know, I'd rather be young and talented, old and can't play. And you know, I think we got some good young kids. I think finishing up the season we did a year ago, you know, beating East Carolina in overtime, having the opportunity to go on the road and beat a Louisville team who was Co-Big East champs, go play in that bowl game and find a way to win that thing. You know, our kids have a lot of confidence. They got a bounce in their step. They feel really good about themselves, and that's carried over into our winter, into our spring, and now into our fall. And you know, we are young. I think we're the second youngest team in college football right now with just 8 seniors. And but the good news is I got some young kids that can play. I got 8 great seniors I wouldn't trade for anybody, and we're anxious just to go play and see where we are. So I'm excited. I know our kids are excited. We're going to embrace that schedule just like we did a year ago, as our fans will do the same, and we'll look up to the end of the year and see where we are.
Well, I know we have a big pep rally planned here this evening in Charleston, and you know, we think it's great that Marshall brings its team and its administration and school here in Charleston. A lot of class, a lot of charm, and you know, I know that the city is very excited to host Marshall. So this ought to be a real successful evening here.
No, it's a great event. I mean, just you can see by the size, it's sold out. You can't get a ticket to it, and just the number of people that show up here, it just shows you the amount of passion and that the fans have for the Marshall University, not only our football program, but our entire athletic department. And I think if you look around Marshall University right now, you know, it's not only athletically, but academically, we're growing. We're building new buildings. We're building new indoor facilities. You know, it's just growing, and you know, the future's bright. I mean, Tom Herring's done a great job with that basketball program. You know, he was finished runner-up in Conference USA, was playing for the conference championship. We got this football thing rolling with the leadership of Dr. Kopp and Mike Hamrick. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be winning championships before long.
Well, Coach, we're just about out of time here, and really appreciate the time you've given us, and wish you the best of luck, not only on September 1st, but all season long, and much success to you.
Well, thank you very much. If I can ever help you, let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that just about wraps up our program for the day. Thanks so much for taking time to join us here on the Coal Seam, and also allow me to thank the Library Television Network for hosting this program. And special thanks to all of our men and women who show up at a mine site every day to provide this great state, our greater country, and the world for that matter, with low-cost, reliable industrial and household energy. It's because of what they do every day that affords us all the freedoms and liberties and the quality of life that we enjoy.